Elections for special interest groups are calling. SIGs, elections, youth, PWDs, elderly. It's time to vote for our leaders, June through August. From village to parish to district to nationals, youth, PWDs, elderly. It's time, go vote your leaders.
No!
Elections are supposed to be peaceful. Easy vote, okay?
Youth, elderly, and persons with disabilities. It's time to choose our leaders. Let's show up and participate in the special interest group elections. Starting June through August this year. Your vote, your voice. My vote, my voice. This message is brought to you by the Uganda Electoral Commission.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort, and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels, and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukoto Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
Where does it come from? That thing that makes us Ugandan. Some say it's in our history, in our culture, and in our hearts, in our warm smiles and vast miles of coffee. It's in our inherent pursuit to always be better, to never stop growing and glowing. We are a nation of sweat and skills, a nation of ideas and inventions. But what truly makes us Ugandan is our quest to invest in agribusiness, manufacturing, tourism, infrastructure, health, and education to improve the quality of life of Ugandans. That's what makes us Uganda Development Bank. Uganda Development Bank, inspiring development.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotelconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
At UNOC, we believe in safety.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Good morning and thank you very much for being with us on UBC TV. Welcome to Good Morning Uganda Extra. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyomitono. Happy that you're with us all the way from 6:30 till now, and of course I know we'll be ending this particular broadcast of Good Morning Uganda and the additional extra at exactly 10 a.m. But keep it with us because I have so much for you. And here I am with yet outcomes of the and recommendations from the Uganda Water and Environment Week. Have you ever heard of the Uganda Water and Environment Week? Well, this is something that has been happening for some time in Uganda every year. But I'm not the expert to discuss this. I have two gentlemen. Join me, welcome Assistant Commissioner, that is Richard Musota, who is the Assistant Commissioner, Directorate of Water Resources Management, that is at the Ministry of Water and Environment. You're most welcome.
Thank you, Robert. As introduced, I'm Richard Musota, an Assistant Commissioner in the Water Resources Planning and Regulation Department in the Directorate of Water Resources Management, Ministry of Water and Environment. And nice seeing you, viewers.
And at the extreme end, I have Ivan Tumuhimbise, hope I pronounced it right, who is the Country Director, World Wide Fund. You're most welcome, Ivan.
Thank you very much, Robert. Good morning, viewers. My name is Ivan Tumuhimbise. I'm the Country Director for World Wide Fund for Nature in Uganda. It's a pleasure having you. Good morning, viewers.
Well, just to let my viewer better understand my guest this morning, the Commissioner well explained. Now, Worldwide Fund, please give us more. What is this all about?
Thank you very much, Robert. As I mentioned, Worldwide Fund for Nature in Uganda is a conservation organization that has been operating in Uganda for the last 30 years, but it's international. Originally, we are headquartered from Switzerland, but in Uganda, most of work has been around wildlife conservation. We have been working with different agencies of government and forest restoration, and as well as water resources management, and supporting work on renewable energy. And I'll be talking more during the show. We work with the Ministry of Water and Environment on restoration and conserving of water resources in Uganda.
Well said. Now let me come back to the Assistant Commissioner. When you talk about the Uganda Water and Environment Week, briefly give us a background to this and how has it shaped the economic transformation of this country?
Well, the Uganda Water and Environment Week, it is a week where we celebrate key sector days of the water and the environment sector. Of course, not forgetting climate change and meteorology that are part of us. To begin with, the Ministry of Water and Environment is the lead institution in Uganda that takes charge of sustainable management and development of water and environmental resources. But we have international sector days that relate to what we do. We have the World Wetlands Day that falls on the 5th of February every year. We have the World Water Day that falls on the 21st of March of every year. We have the World Meteorological Day that falls on the 22nd, and we have the World Forestry Day that falls on the 23rd of March, as well as the World Environment Day that falls on the 6th of June. But the ministry decided that in March, preceding the three important international days, World Water Day, World Meteorological Day, and World Day of Forestry, that are on the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of March, we shall have week-long activities where we advocate, where we disseminate information, where we share knowledge, where we showcase what we do as Ministry of Water and Environment relating to water, environment, climate change, and weather or meteorology. So this is what formed the Uganda Water and Environment Week. And we've been celebrating this since 2018 through the lead institution of Ministry of Water and Environment, which is the Water Resources Institute, that is formulated to lead in advocacy, capacity development, and applied training. So during this week, we always have detailed discussions about the Uganda water and environment sector. So what do we do as the Ministry of Water and Environment? What do we do with regard to environment? What do we do with regard to water development and water resources management? What do we do with regard to climate change? What do we do with regard to meteorology and weather? So it is a week where we share information. It is a week where we exhibit. It's a week where we advocate. And it's a week where we do resource mobilization. So as a sector, of course, we have targets that we must deliver on as a government, but also as the people and also the private sector and the development partners that support us. So it is a week where we do accountability. It is a week where we show innovation. It is a week where we give back to the public, and the public also gives feedback to us. So through this, we do feel that we shape our direction. It is a week where we revise our goals. It's a week where we revise engagements with the stakeholders. So through this, we do feel that we are accountable to the public. It's a week where we also develop ideas taking us forward. It's a week where we strategize.
Well said. Now I'm sure my viewer has the background too. That is the Water Environment Week. Now going back to Ivan here. Ivan, Worldwide Fund for Nature has been in Uganda since 1992. Now how has it been of benefit to the Ministry of, that is, Water and Environment, but also generally to the general public, your operations?
Thank you very much, Robert. As I mentioned earlier, WWF works with government of Uganda, and specifically here I talk about Ministry of Water and Environment. We work with them on specific programs. Some of the programs range on restoring and conserving water catchments in different parts of Uganda, and also mobilizing communities and local governments, as well as fundraising to generate resources both from public and also private sector to increase investments in conserving water resources. Through our work in Uganda, we have been able to bring on board private companies. For instance, Coca-Cola. We've also been able to bring companies like AB InBev in Uganda, represented by Nile Breweries, that are working together with us and providing resources so that we can work with the communities and local governments to basically conserve water resources in this country. If I may give examples where we're currently working, we are working with the ministry on conserving and protecting River Ruizi in Greater Mbarara. And in that project, basically we support restoring of wetlands. We have worked with local governments across the entire catchment, ranging from Ntungamo, Rwampara, Mbarara, Shema, and other neighboring areas, where we have basically encouraged communities to adopt practices that conserve water, specifically protecting the river, but also is providing incentives that helps communities abandon degrading the wetlands. And doing that, we have seen communities also come up and show interest and actually willingly disbanding destruction of wetlands.
Wow.
And we see that as an opportunity that subsequently, when we bring everybody together or to work together, we'll be seeing that indeed everybody can contribute in conserving these water resources in this country, because we know that as the population increases, there will be demand for more water resources. So we need to be able to work together, bring everybody on board, support the government of Uganda to make sure that indeed there can be water security in this country.
Now, I've loved the issue you've raised that people have welcomed the idea of conserving the wetlands. How easy has this been? Because most of the times here in Kampala, we see people conserving wetlands has enforcement. So what methodology are you using to achieve this?
Thank you very much. What I want to start by saying is basically to say that climate change is no longer something which is theoretical. Everybody is saying the threats to our environment, and some of the drivers has been climate change, where we see increased flooding, increasing periods of drought. We have seen rivers bursting and of course destroying infrastructure, destroying homes, destroying livelihoods. And with this, we continue to see communities also acknowledging that indeed it's not something which can also be done by the government alone, but everybody should be getting on board. And some of the solutions is very clear that we need to be able to restore the environment, and by abandoning practices that have threatened the survival of these resources. And through persuasion, through working with local leaders, we are seeing increased interest. And of course, it doesn't come easy, because this is about abandoning a previous source of livelihoods. So as WWF, working with our partners, we have been providing some incentives. For instance, promoting nature-based solutions or nature-based enterprises that have minimal effect on the environment. Some of that includes, for instance, utilizing part of the wetlands for fish farming. We are seeing interest in the farmers in those geographies where there are wetlands, accepting basically to get involved in fish farming. We are seeing some of them getting interested in the apiary, which is also an income generating activity. We are also seeing communities also having other ecotourism activities around some wetlands. And we think that when these communities are able to find alternative sources of income, then they will see an incentive that actually they can coexist with the wetland without necessarily destroying it. And also having wise use of the wetlands, including a regulated or managed harvesting of the resources from the wetlands. Thank you.
Now, Richard, coming back to you, when you talk about the Water and Environment Week, how has this event helped shape or achieve the SDGs, that is the Sustainable Development Goals, but also the National Development Plans, also the Vision 2030? How does this event rhyme into the achievement of such targets?
I would begin with, I think, the role that water and the environmental resources play in the development of the country. Looking at the way we live, the way we behave, every human being, every aspect of development interfaces with water and the environment. They are key inputs. When you talk about agriculture, we need water resources to enable agriculture. We need weather prediction for the agriculturists to plan. We need water for hydropower. We need water for navigation. And these are the key tenets for socio-economic development of country Uganda. Without power, then we cannot be able to run the industries. So And without power, we cannot be able to produce. Most of the industrial productions require water resources, but also they require energy as a driver for most of these elements. So that is how crucial the water and the environmental resources are. So with regard to achieving Vision 2040, we know that we need a transformed economy from a peasantry to a middle-income person of Ugandans. And to do this, we know that agriculture is one of the single most employer in Uganda. And for agriculture nowadays, with the era of climate change, we did realize that you cannot produce if you are not irrigating. Now, for you to be able to irrigate, you need an input of water resources. And also, the agricultural environments impact on either ecosystems or the landscapes. So, the sustainable management of these landscapes, ensuring that fertility is available within the landscapes is key. We've just been talking about wetlands and how people are resistant to getting out of wetlands. Why do people go to wetlands? They are looking for fertility. They are looking for soil moisture. And what went wrong with the landscapes? It's because the landscapes are degraded. So if we do manage to protect the landscapes, then it means that we can maintain the soil fertility up there that people are looking for in the wetlands. But we can also be able to hold the water within the landscape so that the moisture is maintained, so that people don't attack the wetlands. Now, if you went into the wetlands and degraded them, this is where we get into issues of flooding, flash flooding, because they can no longer hold the water, so water runs at a very fast speed and it destroys property. Now, the property that they are destroying, the roads that they are destroying, these are drivers to economic development. So we, during the Water and Environment Week, what we do is we come to advocate for these key important inputs into the economy. We come to sensitize, we come to share knowledge with the public. But we also come to give them policy direction that government is taking. So the cruciality of water and environment resources can't be underestimated. This year alone, we've seen extremes in weather. In early March, mid-March, we had unprecedented heat wave. Yes? Which the public was warned about that in March, we are going to have high temperatures. And we had record temperatures. So, as a sector, during this week, this is the kind of information that we would want to relay to the people, but also to train people about. Most when you tell people about climate change, do they really agree with it? Many people are still in defiance. They say, we don't see climate change, but climate change is with us. In the last month of June, July, we've had unprecedented, again, coldness within Kampala and the country over, yes? But people were told about this. So during the Water and Environment Week, we shared this kind of knowledge, again, to guide people take appropriate action. And these extremes comes with diverse impacts relating to disease and also how we produce, yes? And also how we plan for our agriculture. We've warned the people about rising water levels in the various water bodies. We've warned the people about impending flooding. So when we congregate during the Water and Environment Week around March, all we do is to pass on these key messages. Because during the year we are developing, we are implementing various aspects of government and with partners, of course. So during the Uganda Water and Environment Week, we come to share this key information to guide appropriate planning as a country, to guide appropriate evaluation of what we've done, to guide appropriate strategizing on how we implement different aspects of government.
Now here I go to Ivan. Ivan, Commissioner here, has talked about the week, how we talk to people, and how we carry out sensitization. But one question that comes to my mind after all this is being done, how best can we ensure that our ecosystems are sustainably managed and utilized?
Thank you very much, Robert. And say that, like my brother Richard has mentioned, oftentimes and in the past, these discussions were happening largely in Kampala. And then to, of course, largely the elite that takes part in these conversations. As WWF, we have actually worked with the ministry to actually take these discussions at the district level and the local level to make sure that the advocacy we're talking about, the importance of climate and the threats that we see today, we can actually be discussed at a local level. We have also not only done that at a district level, but also within schools, because we believe that if you want to change the behavior, if you want to change this country, you have to engage young people. And through one of our programs, through what we call Green Schools, which works in Western Uganda, and we are looking forward to expand it in different parts of the country, is basically how we mobilize young people and communities to actually take it up and get involved in this drive, make sure that indeed we can together conserve our environment. And with that, we promote school debates, we promote young schools basically to go, and what they learn from schools, actually they can do that at their own household level. And we have seen increased interest, for instance, in tree planting. And if we can have everybody get on board, we'll be able to see that indeed we can be able to provide knowledge, but also encourage discussions. And part of the discussions, like I mentioned, includes discussions on, for instance, on sustainable land use management. And we think that when communities are sensitized, they can be able to understand how the actions impact nature and the environment. We'll be seeing that it's not just a discussion that's happening conceptually by the elite in the greater cities, but also it's being discussed at the local level, through LOCs, through parents' associations in schools, through churches, through mosques, to make sure that this discussion on restoring our ecosystems, ensuring our ecosystems able to provide resources for us today and tomorrow, is not just rhetoric, but also actually in practice. And we go further by actually breaking it down, looking at how can actions influence, for instance, about waste disposal, about plastic pollution. Make sure that the actions which is done by an individual, by a household, actually they're able to link it with the threats that actually the threats to our environment, and how small actions at individual level and the community level can actually end up being something big for the whole country. And if we think that if actually every community member, every individual, every young person, man, woman, and young person can actually get on board, then this is not something that cannot be done. It is possible it can actually be done. And we are seeing that through our programs in Eastern Uganda, in West Nile, that actually communities are coming forward and embrace this message. And we think that working with the Ministry of Water and Environment, actually to bring these discussions, not just in Kampala, but also at the grassroots, will continue to impact, and we see change happening, and subsequently we see everybody getting on board to make sure that indeed we are aligned to the policy, we are aligned to the direction of the government, and everybody can be on the same page.
Well, I'll now be going for a very short break, and when I return, we are still looking at the outcomes and the recommendations of the 2025 Water and Environment Week. Now, the Assistant Commissioner, Richard, will be giving us the outcomes of this, the key outcomes, and how they are going to shape the way forward. Let's return after this short break.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the rider selection campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that break, and thank you for keeping it with us on UBC TV. We are still looking at the Water and Environment Week 2025 that was held around March, and we are looking at the key outcomes and recommendations and how they are shaping our country towards that is the Sustainable Development Goals, the National Development Plan, and also Vision 2030. I have 2 gentlemen with me in case you have just joined. I have a commissioner and also have the country director that is of the World Fund for Water and Nature. Now, before we went for the break, one of the guests, that is the Assistant Commissioner, Directorate of Water and Natural Resources at the Ministry of Water and Environment, to take us through what are those pressing issues that arose during this week and how are they going to be addressed.
Thank you very much, Robert. Our discussions during the Water and Environment Week in March revealed quite a number of issues, and there were proposals on how we should tackle them. To begin with, there is a realization and I think an appreciation that water and environment challenges have become so diverse. We are experiencing extremes within the water and environment sector. We are experiencing extreme drought. We are experiencing extreme flooding. We are experiencing extreme degradation. Now, to tackle these, there is quite a lot that needs to be done, but at the center of it is resources. But we also do realize that there is a global shift in the way our development partners are behaving. We've seen the West becoming more conservative, more on being focused to attending to their issues, because they also have quite a lot of evolving issues within their environments. So what has been coming in as support to the water and environment sector has substantially reduced. So financing became one of the key things, one of the key messages that came out of the Uganda Water and Environment Week. So there was recommendation that we need now to be looking at other forms of financing, other innovative ways that we finance our water and environment sector. We are blessed that there are a few spaces that are opening up out there beyond the traditional financing from respective governments. For example, the Danish government, the American government, the United Kingdom. So we have other mechanisms that have come on board. For example, the climate financing. We have money that is committed by developed countries. We know that they are the biggest drivers to climate change. So they are putting money into the climate fund. So it's a resource that we need to tap into. And through this, we have the adaptation fund window, we have the green climate fund window, where as a country, we have eligibility to tap into. So these new innovative financing windows need to be aggressively tapped into in the country, as a country, if we are able to adapt to the different challenges that we are faced with. Alongside, we have financing that comes from foundations, for example, the Hilton Foundation, MasterCard Foundation. So we need to tap into these spaces and ensure that we are able to support our different challenges that face the water and environment sector. Not forgetting the public-private partnership, where we bring the private sector on board to be able to support the different actions that we need to be taking as the Ministry of Water and Environment, together with our partners. And the private sector is so big. There is money that is resident with some of these industries, with the banks. So these are spaces that we are looking into to ensure that we are able to finance our water and environment sector and to address the most of the challenges that we are faced with. And what is not in doubt that we also came to realize as a key outcome is that climate change is real.
Yes.
But climate change is not well understood by many of us Ugandans. So advocating for climate change is a key thing that we need to be doing as a sector. We need to sensitize people. We need to prepare people for the climate change impacts. And we need to get people to learn how to adapt. We need to get people to learn how to behave. Yeah. Some of the impacts that we realize may not be caused by climate change, but they may be behavior issues. So how do we sensitize our people to behave appropriately so that when these extremes come, we are able to mitigate their impacts? For example, around the urban areas, we know that the drainage systems are limited, they are small, they are not adequate to handle extreme floodings. But we compound it with a behavior action of building over those systems, dumping waste in those systems. These are things that we need to stop, because once they clog these drainage systems, then it means that when it rains, then water cannot flow the way it is supposed to flow. And the eventual result is flooding. And when it floods, there is destruction of property. Sometimes it causes a total washing away of facilities. We've seen the Katonga Bridge here along the Masaka Road that was washed away by floods. But what was the cause? Probably the degradation of the wetlands that would hold the water so that it is released slowly. But if it comes at such a rapid speed, then it affects the infrastructure and we lose it. So climate change was identified as one of the key things that we need to tackle as a country, and that we need to tackle as individuals. And it starts within the individual spaces, and now they say together we are drop. And rather, as individuals we are drop, yes? Together we are river. So that is the concept within water. So if we put together our efforts, then we are able to do quite a lot. And it was also realized that our economy is very, very, very vulnerable. As I said, we don't have well-designed, robust, resilient infrastructure. We don't have economic securities that we can run to if something happens. So realizing that we are a vulnerable economy, then it means that we need to be cautious in everything that we do. And we need to start changing our mindset to a robust and resilient economy. So when we are doing designs, when we are doing actions, everything we must put into consideration the resilience aspect. We must put into consideration aspects to do with efficiency. We must put into consideration aspects to do with climate smart actions. So these are recommendations that we are putting out to the Ugandans so that we are able to cope with the challenges that we are faced within the water and the environment sector. But also looking at the position of Uganda within the Nile Basin, of course looking at River Nile, as River Nile starts from different countries, yes? Whereas the common person knows that it starts from Jinja, but
where is the source?
Where is the source? We have rivers that are feeding Victoria, and Victoria now feeds the Nile. So they come from as far as Burundi, Kenya, Tanzania, Democratic Republic of Congo. So as Uganda, we are both upstream and midstream. Yes. So we play a strategic role, and therefore our water resources are largely transboundary. And that means that we need to have transboundary cooperation if we are able to cope with the aspects that relate to climate change. We must cooperate if we are able to manage our water resources adequately well. 69% of our water resources as a country are not generated from within Uganda. They are generated from outside Uganda. So only 31% of the water resources are generated from within the country of Uganda. So the cooperation message with our neighbors is key. But also this water, we send it to as far as Egypt. So we must be mindful on how we use the water and what we send downstream, so that people are able to benefit from this shared resource. So it was a key message that we had from the Water and Environment Week.
Well, in the interest of time, we may not go through all the recommendations, but you've just made a revelation to me, and I think to many Ugandans, knowing that, well, much as we have a number of water bodies, we are also fed from our neighbors, and if you take that, something that calls for proper cooperation among its neighbors. If you remember very well, I think it's Egypt and Ethiopia who didn't have it very well when it came to the Nile. We don't want to see a Uganda in that form. But going back to the Water and Environment Week, we know Ministry of Water and Environment organizes this in partnership with other stakeholders, and one of the stakeholders is the Worldwide Fund for Nature. Now here, Ivan, I want to bring you in. How have you involved yourself in that is management and development of our water and environmental resources?
Thank you very much, Robert. As I mentioned earlier, that WWF Uganda works in different parts of this country. And one of the things that we have prioritized, especially on supporting the Ministry of Water and Environment during the Water Week, is basically bringing young people on board. Because we recognize the population of Uganda being youthful, and not just useful, but also a significant number also in the early stages of education through primary schools. So our engagement in advancing the work which the ministry is leading on is basically bringing young people on board. And through that we have supported peer-to-peer learning on addressing issues of climate change. We have initiated conversations on supporting innovations for young people, and actually a challenge fund, which we would like to continue to pursue and see how young people can actually be able to take advantage of the opportunities from for instance, from the Water Resources Institute, through the capacity building, the training, the pride training that they run, to make sure that everybody, especially at the local government and a lower local government level, they're able to gain skills on how we can manage our water resources. Besides this also, we have supported different districts in developing the district forest development plans. And as you know, there's an interface between forest and water resources. Then it's an idea that basically we would like to continue to pursue to see how the district government becomes a lever that can actually advance the restoration of our ecosystem in different geographies where we work. And together, of course, working together with agencies like National Environment Management Authority to see how the environment is being taken seriously in local government planning, in the sub-county level planning, that actually the local governments are able to pass ordinances and bylaws on how they can actually safeguard the very unique water systems in their local areas. So that as my brother Richard has mentioned, the water which we consume in different towns, big cities, and urban areas comes from these rural areas. And therefore, if it is being mismanaged, and affects the water quality and quantity, and subsequently the water resources that will come in urban areas and big cities and all areas basically for the entire ecosystem will be affected. So we think that the actions that which we do at local government level, at community level, is going to together collectively beef up into a national action plan. And we are seeing this movement where people are starting to value water, not just about the water quality, but also quantity. And we are seeing also increased demand also for water for production. And that's where the young people who are engaged in agriculture actually we see opportunities for them, because they can be able to, undertake irrigation-based agriculture production that enhances incomes and of course food security. And we see these benefits, and then we see this being an incentive for managing water resources in this country.
Now, you've talked about what you're doing, all seems rosy. What are those outstanding challenges that you faced during your extension of works in terms of managing our natural resources and water?
Like any program, of course, we always have challenges. But where we have found some of the challenges is it's related to climate change. Basically, where we have seen stubborn floods, stubborn rivers. When you talk about River Nyamwamba, for instance, we have tried to make investments there basically to restore the riverine, to protect it through planting bamboo and of course indigenous trees. But we see sometimes where from the upstream, where sometimes the volume of water is excessive, that basically it even washes away some of the work which we have done. But that's not to say that we are giving up, because we are seeing that cumulatively when all these efforts come together by having everybody on board, we are seeing that yes, where some of those stubborn rivers are affecting the work which we have done, still some things will remain. So we think that we're going to be concerted effort to make sure we don't give up. We keep doing it, and one day we see some of these solutions coming to play. The other challenge is, again, it's how we can have everybody on board, because increasingly we are seeing where some of our people in Uganda look at what's in it for me. And yes, it's an environment for everybody, but me as an individual, if for instance I abandon destruction or degrading of the wetland, what about the others who are not going to abandon? So we think that it's a call that we want to ask our communities to see above themselves. Yes. That we see that when we do this at individual level, cumulatively at village level, it will be good for our community, it will be good for the country. So we want to see these challenges as something which is not lost in itself, but we want to continue to appeal to our people that actually a small action of tree planting, not just tree planting, but also wise use of our trees, and enhancing people, everybody to be able to join on board and plant trees, but also how can we increase access to renewable energy, so that we see a decrease in dependence on biomass for household energy uses. And this are some of the things we see. And of course, that will mean exploring all avenues of renewable energy. And again, like I mentioned, we work with the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development to see that indeed we can increase access to renewable energy solutions at the last mile, that everybody is able to get on board, and we can be able to see a reduced dependence on biomass for household energy solutions.
Okay. Well, those are some of the challenges. I just want to thank you, our viewer, for being with us. Now, I must come to the end of this. But before I do, I'll just give each of my guests just a minute to have their final remark. And I will begin with the Assistant Commissioner here, Richard.
Thank you, Robert. I think I'll pick it from where Ivan stopped. What we need is community action. But for community action to be possible, we need knowledge and information. People need to be empowered. We still have gaps in our knowledge development. We need to develop key messages that can trigger people to act. People are doing what they are doing in search of livelihoods. So we need to get them on board with, of course, it is a mixture of messages of fear and hope. Fear on what if you did something wrong, what will happen to you? But if you did right, what are the benefits? And we do believe that the benefits outweigh the challenges. Yeah. So we as the technical people, we as the lead institution, I think we have a challenge on how we generate the key messages that we take to the people. And once they are informed, we do believe that they should be able to come on board. And if we work together with the communities, then we should be able to overcome the challenges that we are faced with water and environmental resources. With that, I want to thank the viewers for tuning in, but also to congratulate the Uganda Cranes for the success that they achieved last evening.
Well, thank you so much. A quick one as we come to the end of this, Ivan.
Yeah, thank you very much, Robert. And say that in my concluding remarks, I only call upon everybody that has not yet on board. Because, again, through the leadership of the Minister of Water and Environment, by establishing the agency, the Water Resources Institute, which is spearheading some of this work, basically, among other things, is also seeking to advance the promotion of public-private partnerships. And we are seeing different companies coming on board supporting the government core on conserving water resources in this country. And my core is basically to call upon those ones who are not yet on board to come on board. Because increasingly we are seeing a couple of companies coming on board supporting the Ministry of Water and Environment programs, because most of this industry is also depending on water. And I think the question which we want to put to them and persuading them to see that if water resources enhances you're making money, then why can't you also join and get on board and also supporting how these resources are actually being conserved and protected for everybody in Uganda? Because subsequently, if there was a threat, if there was reduced water quantity and quality, it will affect your profits. And we want to call upon them basically to let's work together. We are seeing a couple of them working with us as WWF, like I mentioned, Coca-Cola, Nile breweries. We're also seeing a couple of them also getting interested and knocking on our doors. We want to appeal to everybody to come on board, that it's not just a calling of the ministry, but everybody can get on board and actually ensure that this country can be able to achieve water security, not just for today, but also for the future. I want to thank again for the viewers for tuning in, and let's keep this conversation so that we are not just having it here in Kampala, but also at household level, at grassroots level, to make sure this discussion can continue on ensuring that we have water security achieved for this country.
Well, thank you so much, Ivan Tumuhimbise, who is the Country Director, Worldwide Fund for Nature. Thank you so much for your time. And Richard Mosota, who is the Assistant Commissioner, that is Directorate of Water and Resources Management at the Ministry of Water and Environment. Thank you so very much for your time. We've been looking at the outcomes of the Water and Environment Week 2025. Now, let's keep the fire burning. Let's continue to ensure that we protect our environment, we protect our natural resources, because they are what make us. Without them, we can't exist. Have the best of your day. May the good Lord bless you. See you tomorrow, God willing.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
In a nation hungry for truth,